everybody, back here with Mike Sajecki, C&E Marketing, and what we're going to discuss are just a couple of quick troubleshooting tips for finding any system flaws for anyone who has an existing system, or if you've installed a system and for some reason something isn't working now. So we basically break it down into three different things that can go bad. And we'll put speaker subwoofer in one category. So your speaker subwoofers could go bad. The wiring, there could be something wrong with the wiring, or your amplifier.
Correct.
Least of that is amplifiers, especially when they're indoors, I assume.
Yeah, amplifiers go bad less frequently than speakers do.
Okay.
Speakers handle a lot of abuse, and then not to mention outdoor speakers, and a lot of environmental abuse. So they can go bad a lot easier than most things.
Okay. So typically, it can be easiest to start at the speaker.
Yeah, it could be easiest to start at the speaker or at the amplifier, whatever's easier to get to. But there's a really cool trick, right? Everyone's got a battery, right? If you don't have a battery, find a remote laying around. Garage door opener, just about anything you have has a battery that's accessible. Even the battery at the bottom of your drill, you could use it. Be careful of the 24 or 48 volts because if the speaker is good, you could blow up the speaker. I like to use a AA or AAA or even a 9-volt battery. These aren't going to cause a lot of problems to the speakers. All you're going to do is you're going to get your speaker leads. Me, I like to work from the speaker backwards, but again, you could do it from the amplifier forward. But the easiest thing to do is if I want to know my speaker's bad or not, I'm going to take this AA battery. I'm going to take my positive and negatives from my speaker wire. I'm going to connect just hold the black, which is the negative, to the bottom of the battery. I'm going to take the top, the positive. I'm just going to tap it on there real quick.
Yeah, and hopefully they can hear that on the video.
What you're going to hear is just scratching.
Yeah.
Scratching noise. If you hear scratching noise, that tells me my speaker is good. And I can go even further than that by actually putting my ear right by the speaker components. In this driver, there's 2 mid-ranges and a tweeter. I want to put my ear right up next to each of those 3 speakers. Am I getting sound out of the 2 mid-ranges and the tweeter? It's kind of hard to do sometimes, but it certainly helps to make sure all of the drivers in that speaker are working. If they are, I'm going to go backwards.
Okay, so, and I will shout out talking about this 3-way speaker. This is from Landscape Vibrations. It's a 5¼ inch bollard 3-way. It's pretty badass. When you drive it with the proper components, these things are cool.
Are you saying maybe like this amplifier?
Maybe like this amplifier. But we do find that these need a subwoofer. They're meant to work really best with a subwoofer, whereas what we showed earlier with those 6.5 AW 6.5s, those really don't need a subwoofer. So, yeah, that was my pitch for those Landscape Vibration bollard speakers.
Well done.
Okay, multimeter. Are we worried about using the multimeter to test?
We could use a multimeter. A few things we want to do is we want to set the multimeter to impedance to measure ohms or resistance.
Okay.
And a typical outdoor speaker is going to measure at 8 ohms. So I just take the red to the positive and the black to the negative, and I should measure. No speaker is going to measure exactly at 8 ohms and stay at 8 ohms because it's moving. When it moves, it changes its resistance. So we're looking for a number about 8 ohms. These speakers are actually 16 ohms, so it's measuring 15 right now. That's well within range. If we were measuring 0.2, it might be a problem. If we're measuring 0, that would indicate that the speaker's bad.
Got it. Okay, so working our way backwards. We started at the speaker. Let's continue to work our way backwards.
So you have to remember to hook your speaker wire back up to the wire that's in the ground. And of course, put a wire nut, gel-filled wire nut, available at Lighting Boss.
Or ace connectors, heat shrink style, whatever you want.
So I could disconnect that wire from the amplifier, and I could do the same thing. I could take my battery and I can pop it. Again, I don't need a fancy multimeter tool. If I take the battery and I connect it to that wire again, and I get scratchy sound, I know that not only is my speaker good, but my wire is good too. Okay. If it's not, all right, I'm not getting a signal, I need to figure out where that problem is, right? Is it now in that wire or a connector? And it probably is. That's usually the problem. So at this point, I'd connect the battery or connect the voltmeter. I want to make sure I get scratchy noise if I'm using the battery, or I want to get resistance 8 to 16 ohms if I'm using the voltmeter. If that's good, then I know that the amplifier, I need to now check the amplifier and see if the amplifier's bad.
So what are we looking for inside the amplifier? We're not utilizing our battery anymore, so we're utilizing voltage meter. What are we setting it?
We're going to set the voltmeter to AC voltage.
Okay.
So set that to AC voltage. We're going to measure that voltage when the amplifier's on without music playing.
Yep.
We're not necessarily looking for a particular measurement because every amplifier makes different amount of voltage, right? So we're going to check that voltage when the amplifier is on but no music.
Okay.
And then we're going to measure it again with music playing. We just need to see a greater difference. So if music's playing, that AC voltage is higher than without playing, we know that the amplifier is at least giving a signal. The volume is raising and lowering with the volume.
And even if the speakers are bad, but music is playing through the amplifier, you should still see a change in voltage?
That's correct. Okay. That's correct. Whether the speaker's bad or not, whether the wire's bad or not, if the amplifier is good, as we turn the volume up with music playing, that voltage should increase as well.
Okay, got it. And then obviously another way to go about this, you've got your battery, you've got your multimeter, and then you can also have a test speaker too.
Absolutely. Everybody's got something laying around the garage, whether it was a speaker from an old computer, an old car speaker that you took out. It doesn't even have to look good or play good, right? It just has to make noise. Carry that little speaker, have a dummy lead on the end of it, connect that directly to my amplifier. If that makes sound, then I know it's either my wire or my speaker.
Yeah, okay. And by the way, the battery trick will also work on your subwoofer too.
That's right.
So I can utilize this.
Red and black.
Positive. This is my positive.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you can do positive to positive or negative to positive.
Yep. So I can hear a tone in my sub right now.
Yep.
It's low, but I can hear it.
Yeah, you'll hear a thump thump.
Yep. Yep. So we can utilize that just a simple AA battery
Makes it easy.
For a lot of things here in the system. So no, that's great. And if you guys have any more troubleshooting questions, please reach out. Yeah, this is what we're here to help you with. It's why we bring in experts like Mike to do this. So
happy to help.
Thanks. Thanks, guys.